The tapestry of human history, so rich and varied, is woven not only with threads of known events and celebrated triumphs, but also with strands of profound mystery, puzzles that have resisted elucidation for generations, sometimes even centuries. These are the moments where the narrative falters, where the evidence trails off into silence, leaving behind tantalizing questions that echo through the corridors of time. What became of those who vanished without a trace? What secrets lie locked within undecipherable texts? These enigmas are more than mere historical footnotes. They are a testament to the limits of our understanding and the enduring power of the unknown. They challenge our ingenuity, our perseverance, and our very perception of the past. From lost civilizations that seemingly evaporated into the mists of time to cryptic artifacts that defy easy explanation, these unsolved mysteries serve as a constant reminder that history is not a closed book, but a living, breathing entity, still holding many of its secrets close. The pursuit of answers is a deeply human endeavor, a quest to illuminate the darker corners of our collective story and to perhaps, finally, understand the fates and forces that shaped our world in ways we are yet to fully comprehend. And so, I invite you to join us on a journey, an exploration into some of history's most compelling and enduring unsolved events. Together we shall sift through the clues, examine the theories, and peer into the shadows where truth has for so long remained elusive. Perhaps by looking afresh at these ancient riddles, we might uncover new perspectives, or at the very least, appreciate the profound depth of the questions that still linger, unanswered, in the grand narrative of our shared past. In the late 16th century, a small group of English settlers, full of hope and pioneering spirit, established a colony on Roanoke Island, off the coast of what is now North Carolina. Led by John White, they sought to carve out a new life in a new world, a challenging endeavor fraught with peril and uncertainty. When White sailed back to England for much-needed supplies, he left behind over 100 men, women and children, including his own granddaughter, Virginia Dare, the first English child born in the Americas. His return was delayed by war, a cruel twist of fate that stretched his absence to 3 long years. Upon his eventual return in 1590, the sight that greeted him was not one of a thriving settlement, but of eerie desolation. The houses had been dismantled, the fortifications abandoned. There were no signs of a struggle, no bodies, no graves to mark a tragedy. The only clue, enigmatic and unsettling, was the word Croatoan carved into a palisade post and the letters CRO etched into a nearby tree. This was the name of a nearby island and also that of a local Native American tribe with whom the colonists had, at times, a tentative relationship. What became of these 100 or so souls? Did they attempt to integrate with the Croatoan people, seeking refuge and sustenance? Or did they perhaps try to sail back to England in a makeshift vessel, only to be lost to the vast, unforgiving Atlantic? Theories abound, ranging from assimilation to massacre by other tribes, or even succumbing to disease or starvation in an unfamiliar land. Despite numerous archaeological investigations and historical inquiries over the centuries, the fate of the lost colony of Roanoke remains one of America's oldest and most perplexing unsolved mysteries, a silent testament to the brutal realities of early colonial life. Within the hushed archives of Yale University's Beinecke Rare Book and Manuscript Library lies a codex unlike any other, the Voynich manuscript. This curious volume, carbon-dated to the early 15th century, is filled with approximately 240 vellum pages of handwritten text and intricate illustrations. The script itself is a flowing, elegant enigma, composed of an unknown alphabet that has resisted every attempt at decipherment by the world's most brilliant cryptographers and linguists for over a century. Its graceful loops and unique characters seem to form words and sentences, yet their meaning remains utterly obscure. The illustrations are equally baffling, depicting fantastical plants that bear no resemblance to any known botanical species, astrological diagrams with unfamiliar constellations, and curious biological drawings featuring miniature human figures, often female, bathing in elaborate networks of pipes and pools filled with green or blue fluids. These images hint at a purpose, perhaps a herbal, an alchemical treatise, or a medical text, yet their precise significance is as elusive as the language they accompany. The sheer strangeness of its contents has led to a bewildering array of theories about its origin and purpose. Could it be an elaborate hoax, a meaningless jumble of symbols designed to deceive? Or is it a genuine, albeit lost language, perhaps an enciphered text hiding profound secrets of a forgotten culture, or a lone, eccentric genius? Some have suggested it might be an example of glossolalia, or speaking in tongues, transcribed. Others believe it could be a sophisticated cipher, concealing knowledge deemed too dangerous for open dissemination. The Voynich manuscript stands as a silent challenge to human intellect, a beautiful, frustrating puzzle box whose key has yet to be found, its secrets still locked away within its cryptic pages. Few objects in history are as steeped in legend, reverence, and mystery as the Ark of the Covenant, described in the Book of Exodus as an ornate gold-covered wooden chest. It was said to contain the stone tablets bearing the 10 Commandments, given to Moses by God on Mount Sinai. For the ancient Israelites, it was not merely a container, but a potent symbol of God's presence and power, carried into battle and housed within the holiest sanctum of Solomon's temple in Jerusalem. Its presence was believed to bring victory and divine favor. Yet this sacred relic, central to Jewish and Christian traditions, vanished from historical records after the Babylonian siege and destruction of Jerusalem and Solomon's temple in 587 BCE. What became of it? Did the Babylonians seize it as spoils of war, perhaps melting it down for its gold? Or was it hidden by devout priests, secreted away in a hidden chamber beneath the Temple Mount, or spirited away to a distant land to protect it from desecration? The silence in the historical accounts has given rise to centuries of speculation and fervent searching. Numerous locations have been proposed as its final resting place. Legends speak of it being taken to Ethiopia, guarded by a lineage of monks in a secluded chapel in Aksum. Others suggest it might lie buried in the Qumran caves near the Dead Sea, or even that it was taken by the Knights Templar during the Crusades and hidden somewhere in Europe. The Ark of the Covenant remains more than just a lost artifact. It is a powerful symbol of faith and a tantalizing archaeological prize, its whereabouts one of the most enduring and spiritually charged mysteries of the ancient world. In the autumn of 1888, a palpable wave of terror gripped the impoverished district of Whitechapel in London's East End. A shadowy figure, known to history only by the chilling pseudonym Jack the Ripper, embarked on a brutal series of murders. The victims, all women from the margins of society, were subjected to horrific violence, their bodies mutilated with a degree of anatomical knowledge that suggested the killer might possess medical or surgical skills. The press, in its infancy of sensationalist reporting, fanned the flames of fear and public outrage, turning the Ripper into an almost mythical figure of Victorian dread. Despite a massive police investigation involving house-to-house inquiries, the examination of countless individuals, and the circulation of chilling letters purportedly from the killer himself, most famously the From Hell letter accompanied by a piece of a human kidney, the identity of Jack the Ripper was never definitively established. The fog-shrouded, gas-lit streets of Whitechapel seemed to swallow him whole, leaving behind a legacy of fear and frustration. The police of the era, lacking modern forensic techniques, were faced with an almost insurmountable challenge. Over the decades, an astonishing array of suspects has been proposed, numbering in the hundreds. These range from obscure individuals to prominent figures, including artists, doctors, and even members of the royal family. Each theory comes with its own set of circumstantial evidence and passionate advocates, yet none have provided conclusive proof. Jack the Ripper remains the archetypal, unsolved serial killer case, a dark enigma that continues to fascinate and horrify, a chilling reminder of the shadows that can lurk within even the most civilized of societies, his true face forever obscured by the mists of time. Amelia Earhart was more than just an aviator. She was a symbol of courage, adventure, and the breaking of boundaries in an era when women's roles were far more prescribed. In 1937, she embarked on her most ambitious undertaking, a daring attempt to circumnavigate the globe along an equatorial route in her twin-engine Lockheed Electra 10E. Accompanied by navigator Fred Noonan, she had successfully completed over two-thirds of this monumental journey, her progress eagerly followed by an admiring world. The final, most challenging leg involved crossing the vast, empty expanse of the Pacific Ocean. On July 2, 1937, Earhart and Noonan took off from Lake New Guinea, bound for Howland Island, a tiny, remote speck of land, barely 2 miles long and half a mile wide. It was a critical refueling stop. As they approached the island, radio communications with the U.S. Coast Guard cutter Itasca, stationed there to guide them in, became increasingly sporadic and unclear. Earhart reported cloudy weather and difficulty locating the island. Then, after a final garbled transmission, there was only silence. The world's most famous female pilot had vanished. What followed was one of the most extensive and expensive air and sea searches in naval history, yet no trace of Earhart, Noonan, or their aircraft was found. The official conclusion was that they ran out of fuel, crashed and sank in the deep Pacific waters. However, numerous alternative theories persist. Did they veer off course and land or crash on another uninhabited island, perhaps dying as castaways? Some even speculate they were captured by the Japanese, who had a significant military presence in the Pacific at the time. Despite decades of searching and countless expeditions, the disappearance of Amelia Earhart remains an enduring aviation mystery, a poignant tale of ambition and the unforgiving nature of the wild. And so our brief journey through these historical enigmas comes to a close, yet the questions themselves linger as potent and perplexing as ever. The lost colony, the silent manuscript, the vanished ark, the shadowy Ripper, and the lost aviator. These are but a few of the countless mysteries that dot the landscape of our past. They remind us that for all our accumulated knowledge, for all our technological prowess, there are still vast areas where certainty eludes us, where the story remains incomplete, inviting speculation and further inquiry. The human mind, it seems, is inherently drawn to such puzzles. We are natural investigators, driven by a desire to understand, to connect the disparate pieces, and to shed light on that which is hidden. Perhaps you have your own theories about these enduring cases, your own insights gleaned from the fragments of evidence we have explored. The beauty of these unsolved mysteries lies not only in the potential for eventual discovery, but also in the vibrant discussions and debates they inspire across generations. We encourage you to share your thoughts, your hypotheses, your own lines of reasoning in the comments below. What do you believe truly happened? And if you, like us, are captivated by the pursuit of historical truth and the thrill of the unknown, do consider subscribing to our channel. There are many more mysteries to explore, many more stories waiting to be re-examined as we continue our unending quest to understand the rich and often baffling tapestry of human history.